focused on democracy, human rights, any of that. Their focus is to increase trade with the U.S. No matter what. So. That is what honestly, this administration. Change completely, and the U.S. has close relations with Pakistan now, but a few years ago they didn't. So this can all change very quickly.
Hello, this is Shaumuntok from Dija. So my question is that since you want to go back to Bangladesh, all of you said that.
I think my mother wants me to answer that as well. No, we are not in communication with the current government at all. She is doing this. She wants to do this regardless of what the government of Bangladesh wants.
Good evening. My question is, the Sheikh Hasina has been in India for 2 years, roughly. And how has her stay been? Has she been in touch with the government of India and its officials? And the fact that she's keen to go back, is this something the government of India is aware of? And how does the government feel? Because the Prime Minister of India in the past has said that Sheikh Hasina is my sister.
Well, obviously the fact that she wants to go back has made international headlines, so I'm sure there isn't anyone in India who is not aware. With regards to how they're treating her, they are treating her like a head of state. They are treating her very well. She's staying as with the full services and security of the head of state. They have shown her, Prime Minister Modi's government has shown her the utmost respect, and for that I am eternally grateful.
This is Suhasini Haider from The Hindu. I wanted to ask former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina did really detail what happened in those 2 months. However, there has been one demand that we've heard from the protesters, from the students in Dhaka quite often. Does she regret the violence? Does she regret the killings of protesters there? Does she feel sorry about what happened eventually and the events that led up to her coming to India at that time?
Look, this question of regret and apologies has been raised, but you see, the Yunus regime and the BNP regime, what I mentioned in my speech, immunity, indemnity. So they have indemnified killings. They have legalized killings. The killings of police officers, the killings of civilians, the killings of Awami League members. So in this situation, you have heard my mother express that this was a violent situation. So if one set of killings is legal, then how does the question of apology arise? Why does it arise? You can't have both. You can't have one set of killings being legal and another set someone has to apologize for. So the day the indemnity is lifted, the day the protesters who killed police officers and civilians and Awami League members are arrested, then the Awami League will apologize, will express regret. But until that day, there is nothing the Awami League to apologize for. All killings in Bangladesh are legal.
My name is Sultana Rahman. I'm from Bangla News Network. Honorable former Prime Minister, আপনাকে সালাম। Maybe I'm the only journalist from Bangladesh here. I'm really excited and emotional too. It's a great opportunity to ask you a question. That is, uh, the basic foundation of Bangladesh is under threat. That is our liberation war. Many people, hundreds of thousands of people, they are concerned, they are dying, but still they are sad. They are upset about the history, what is happening on our history in 1971. And my question is to you. I talk all walks of life. They asked me when she's coming. You told that you are coming in December. What is your actual plan? Thank you so much.
Unfortunately, my mother is the only one that can answer that, and left. She's not.
I'm here. I can answer. No problem. Well, you see, I just declare that I'm coming. I'm going to Bangladesh. Okay. Now the date and everything. Of course, when time will come, I will tell you. I told everybody. I hope that the people. Actually, I received response from all the people. So I believe that Bangladesh people suffered a lot, but I cannot take it, and that's why I decided to go back. The time, December month is our victory month. So I want to go back in the month of December. I know I may face anything, but what happened? Bangladesh needs reconciliation. Bangladesh needs constitutional development and constitutional position. Bangladesh people should have their constitutional right, justice. Now they have nothing. Economically, everything ruined. Politically, there is no such politics. No one can talk. No one can speak. Yes, there was the election. Everybody said, yes, this is a good election. Okay, fine. Then why the persecution is going on? Still they are arresting our people, torturing them, killing them. Why? So I believe in democracy. I believe in secular democratic system. So that's why I want to go back, and the time and everything will have the history. Now already they destroyed all our,
In this video, the camera understands what the dog wants. Let's check it out. Now she's whining. I'm moving through the camera.
Alarm. Wants to go outside.
And I thought it was just me. She was
they can stand by themselves and proudly they can say that we liberated the country, so our history should prevail. That's all. And thank you very much. You speak always in favor of our liberation victory. But at this moment, you know what is happening. Those who lost the war, now they are praising them. They are... Okay, I don't want to make much comment. Thank you. Of history, that duty becomes even more important. Today, I speak not only as someone who had the honor of serving Bangladesh 5 times as a Prime Minister, but also as the daughter of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. I speak as someone who has spent her life with the people of Bangladesh. I was forced away from my country but I was never separated from my people. Before I speak about the present crisis, I pay my deepest homage to the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, to the Saline national leaders, and to the 3 million martyrs of our war of liberation. I also remember with profound grief and members of my own family, whom I lost on 15th August 1975. Today is also the birthday of my beloved brother Sheikh Kamal, who was 2 years younger than me. He was a valiant freedom fighter, a youth leader, a sports organizer, and a cultural activist. His life represented the courage, creativity, and patriotism of the young generation of Bangladesh. I remember him today with deep love, pain, and pride. Ladies and gentlemen, for the last 2 years, I watched my beloved Bangladesh suffer. Fear has entered homes, workplaces, and campuses. This is not the Bangladesh we built. This is not the Bangladesh for which 3 million people sacrificed their lives in 1971. Let me begin with the truth about July and August 2024. It was not a peaceful student movement. From the beginning, my government tried to resolve the issue peacefully through dialogue, legal process, and patience. But behind the language of reform, organized groups were working to turn students' demand into violent political instrument. In 2018, responding to student demands, we abolished the quota system, dialogue with the students, and invited them to Ganabhavan, the Prime Minister's residence. 3 ministers also held discussions with them. A quota reform movement was turned into a one-point demand for my resignation. False propaganda was spread in a planned way. Genuine students were emotionally manipulated, while organized groups used their movement as cause for violence and regime change. Muhammad Yunus himself said this was a meticulously designed movement led by a mastermind. His own words expose the truth. It was not simply a spontaneous student protest. There was no visible or responsible leadership. Instructions were given invisibly. It was organized, directed, and used to create a path to power outside the ballot box. From July 15th, the character of the movement changed. Killings, arson, attacks, and looting began. State property was destroyed. Bangladesh television was attacked and set on fire. So was different buildings like Setu Bhavan, the Directorate General of Health Services, the EPI vaccination program building, Farmgate Metro Rail Station, flyover, Mohakali Elevator Expressway, Science Research Facilities, the Disaster Management Office, a National Database Center, a COVID-19 Special Hospital, Bangladesh Medical University, residential hotels, industrial facilities, businesses, prisons, and including Noshingdi and other district jails were attacked, vandalized, or burned. All the terrorist criminals were released. Awami League offices were vandalized across the country. Leaders and workers were attacked and killed. Homes of ministers and senior figures associated with my government were looted and burned. The media was also targeted. Nearly 50 media center, private television stations, and newspaper offices were attacked or set on fire. Journalists were killed. Law enforcement agencies came under organized attack. Police, Sepai, the other officers were killed and their bodies were hung from flyover. Around 460 police stations were outposted or set on fire, and in some, personnel were trapped inside buildings and burnt alive. Weapons were looted. Officers were beaten to death. According to persecuted police members, at least 3,000 personnel were killed, attacked, tortured, or subjected to serious violence. So, I ask a simple question. In such a situation, what is the duty of law enforcement? When police stations are burned, government buildings are attacked, public infrastructure is destroyed, officers are killed, and weapons are looted, does the state have no duty to protect life and property? In every country, law enforcement has a responsibility to protect citizens, state institutions, and their own lives. This is not a crime. That is the duty entrusted to them by law. At the same time, I wanted the truth to be known. That is why I formed a Judicial Inquiry Commission on 18 July 2024. Its purpose was clear. Every casualty had to be investigated. Every incident of violence had to be examined, and every family deserved to know the truth. I met victims' families, visited the injured, and instructed the authorities to provide the highest level of medical treatment free of cost. On 1st August, I strengthened the inquiry into a 3-member commission so that the investigation would be credible and comprehensive. But after seizing power, the illegal interim government led by Mohammad Yunus stopped the investigation. They did not allow the truth to come out. They gave indemnity to those who involved in the killings. If they truly wanted justice, why did they stop the inquiry? If they had nothing to hide, why protect the killers? That one decision, and on 1st August, I strengthened the inquiry into a 3-member commission so that the investigation would be credible and comprehensive. But after seizing power, the illegal interim government led by Mohammad Yunus stopped the investigation. They did not allow the truth to come out. They gave indemnity to those who involved in the killings if they truly wanted justice.
Systems online. Analyzing data.
These statements show that the July-August movement was not merely a quota reform movement. It became a coordinated assault on constitutional order driven by hidden instruction, organized violence, and propaganda. The conspiracy did not end on 5th August. After 5th August, violence became a campaign of political persecution. The killing that began on 16 July with the murder of Shobuz Ali, a Dhaka college student and student league activist, has not stopped. Awami League leaders and workers are being killed, disappeared, arrested, driven from their homes and buried under false cases. At least 10,000 have been killed or disappeared. Around 650,000 have been arrested over the last 2 years. And 3,500 cases have been filed. Namely, nearly 450,000 leaders, workers, and supporters are accused. More than 1 million others have been as unnamed accused. Against me, more than 600 cases has been filed. Women activists of Chhatra League, student organization, youth league, other affiliated organizations are facing abuse, humiliation, torture in custody. Many leaders and workers have also died in prison amid documented accounts of torture, denial of medical treatment, deprivation of food, negligence, and denial of basic rights. The persecution is not limited to the Awami League members of only. The member of minority community, judges, lawyers, intellectuals, cultural figures, journalists, professionals, workers, even rickshaw pullers, farmers, ordinary citizens have been attacked, arrested, or accused in murder cases. No one who stands for the spirit of the liberation war is safe. Symbols and memorials of our liberation war have been destroyed. Freedom fighters have been humiliated with garland of shoes. The historic residence of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the Bangabandhu Memorial Museum at Dhanmondi 32 has been attacked and demolished in phases. This is not random violence. This is an attempt to erase the spirit of the liberation war from Bangladesh. Mohammad Yunus himself spoke of pressing a reset button to whip away the country's previous history. They want to erase the liberation war, they want to erase Bangabandhu, they want to rewrite Bangladesh against the foundation on which it was born. Convicted war criminals have been released, militants and top terrorists have been freed. Even after a state election brought the BNP to power, the situation did not change. Bangladesh remains a grip of fear, terror, repression, economic hardship, and deep insecurity. Now, look at the condition of the country. The progress we built has been destroyed, and ordinary people are paying the price. GDP growth has fallen to 2.22% compared with 6.80% during the Awami League government. Industrial production has fallen sharply. For the first time in 54 years, the industrial sector has faced negative growth. Defaulted loans in the banking sector have reportedly risen from 13% to 47%. Poverty has increased from 18.60% to 46.8%. Investment has turned negative. Job creation has collapsed. More than 2 crore people have newly fallen into unemployment. Over 500 industrial factories have closed. More than half of industrialists and business owners are either in prison or forced into hiding. The government is running by borrowing 700 to 900 crore taka from banks every day. Project costs have been increased by 50% to 250%. At the same time, militancy is rising. Children are facing torture, rape, humiliation. And ordinary people no longer feel secure in their own lives. Extortion, murder, kidnapping have become regular features of daily life. These are not just numbers or isolated incidents. Behind them, there is a family, a worker, a farmer, a small business owner, a mother who cannot buy food for her children, and a young person who no longer sees hope. But let me also remind you what Bangladesh had achieved. The welfare of the people has always been the purpose of my deep politics. My father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, gave his life for the ideal, and I have carried the ideal with full commitment. During my 5 terms as a Prime Minister, we used long-term planning, sound financial management, disciplined implementation to place Bangladesh on a strong foundation. After 2008, across 16 years and 4 consecutive terms, we implemented major projects such as Padma Bridge, Metro Rail, Rupur Nuclear Power Plant, Madarbari Deep Sea Port, Kandafuli Tunnel, Bangabandhu Satellite. We maintained GDP growth between 6.5% to 7.5%. Our development projects were not vanity projects. They were part of building national capacity. Our social programs were not charity. They were investments in human dignity. We made Bangladesh stand tall. We made it known as the rising tiger of Asia. Bangladesh's crisis is not only a domestic crisis, it affects regional peace, security, trade, development, and human dignity. That is why I call upon the international community and all the friends of Bangladesh to stand with the people of Bangladesh in their struggle for democracy, justice, and peace. A stable Bangladesh matters for South Asia, for the Bay of Bengal, for development partners, and for all countries that believe in democracy, rule of law, and justice. The next decade can be a decade of recovery and renewal. but only if democracy is restored and the people are allowed to decide their own future. That is why I make these demands clearly. The ban on the Awami League must be lifted, political prisoners must be released, false cases must be dropped, freedom of speech must be restored, media freedom must be protected, judicial independence must be guaranteed. Law enforcement agencies must serve the people, not those who use power for revenge. These are not demands for one party only. Necessary steps to save Bangladesh. Whatever awaits me, I will return to my people. I cannot stay away while my beloved countrymen are suffering. I know I may be detained in prison. They may try to enforce verdicts issued in fabricated cases, but fear cannot decide calculations of personal safety long ago. In 1971, I was in imprisonment with my mother. My son, Joy, was born in captivity. In 1975, I lost my family. I spent 6 years in exile. After returning home, I fought against military ruler, dictatorship, and political conspiracies. There were 19 assassination attempts against me. Even the grenade attack of 21st August 2004 could not stop me. Therefore, I am not worried about my own future. I am worried about the future of Bangladesh. I want to return because the people deserve security, development, prosperity, and peace. They deserve a state that protects them, an economy that gives them opportunity, and a democracy that gives them rights. My return and the return of the Awami League to the democratic process is not about power. It is about putting Bangladesh back to the right.
Flappy Dragon. Try it now.
Memorizing scripture is a long-standing Christian devotion, and it's also very practical when dealing with one's own life and also giving encouragement and advice to others and so forth. And I was reading this book recently titled The Heavenly Man about the life of a Chinese evangelist, and he, at periods in his life, memorized a chapter of scripture each day. And I know people oftentimes will focus on, when encouraging people to memorize scripture, might focus on perhaps a verse a week or so forth. But I really wonder what the upper limits are, especially after hearing the testimony of this particular evangelist. A chapter a day. And I know, because I've worked in theater, for instance, that it is certainly possible for people to memorize this much material in a day. It's not Herculean, it's doable. And I wonder if people were really committed to memorizing scripture. I wonder if this could be accomplished, this could be reasonably done in the course of a Christian, devoted Christian's life. Memorizing a chapter a day. It might be a good challenge to take up for some people, to really stretch their ability and their commitment to knowing the Bible.
Is not.
Don, can you hear me? Okay. Madam Sheikh Hasina, have you decided on the date on which you are going to go back to your country? Because the present regime says the moment you arrive in Dhaka, they are going to arrest you. What are your plans if they arrest you? Have you put together any team of lawyers to defend you in a court of law? What are your plans? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Actually, I was not ready to take answer, but when you asked me, after going back, they may arrest me, I'm telling you one thing. 1981, when I returned home, that time also they tried to stop me. Jia Rahman was in power, but I went there. But 1983, I was arrested. And again in 1985, 1987, there are several times. even 2007. That time also I was outside the country, but when I wanted to return home, they tried to stop me, but they could not. I returned home. So I know that they may put me in the jail or they may kill me, anything may happen, but still I have to go back. You are a friend of Bangladesh. You are here. I know you will support me. So the people's support, it is very important for me. Yes, I am with them. Thank you. Joy, Sajib will take the question, right?
I hope Madam Hasina can answer this question. Sajib is a US citizen. The US ambassador to India has recently visited Bangladesh and expressed his confidence in Mr. Tariq Rahman's leadership. And Sajib is, of course, I'm aware that you have dual citizenship, Bangladesh as well as the US. But how do you view the US ambassador's remarks and his support also offering further deepening of trade relations with Bangladesh? And also, you said, Sajib, that Bangladesh runs the danger of becoming another Pakistan. But you are aware that one of your two countries, the country of domicile, the United States, under President Trump, has a particularly close relationship to Pakistan and is now building one with Bangladesh. So, should Madam Hasina return, how do you intend to, where do you see the future of relations with the United States? Thank you.
United States has its own goals. Yes, I'm a dual citizen. What Ambassador Gore's remarks, they are simply diplomatic remarks. Those are standard things any diplomat is going to say. The current U.S. administration, their focus is on trade. They are not focused on democracy, human rights, any of that. Their focus is to increase trade with the U.S. No matter what. So that is what the policy this administration is continuing. However, as you are very familiar, in the U.S., it is a very democratic country. The government changes, policies change completely, the U.S. has close relations with Pakistan now, but a few years ago they didn't. So this can all change very quickly.
Yeah, hello, this is Shaumuntok from Dijab. So my question is that since you want to go back to Bangladesh, all of you said that.
I think my mother wants me to answer that as well. No, we are not in communication with the current government at all. She is doing this. She wants to do this regardless of what the government of Bangladesh wants.
Good evening. My question is, the Sheikh Hasina has been in India for 2 years, roughly. And how has her stay been? Has she been in touch with the government of India and its officials? And the fact that she's keen to go back, is this something the government of India is aware of? And how does the government feel? Because the Prime Minister of India in the past has said that Sheikh Hasina is my sister.
Well, obviously the fact that she wants to go back has made international headlines, so I'm sure there isn't anyone in India who is not aware. With regards to how they're treating her, they are treating her like a head of state. They are treating her very well. She's staying with the full services and security of head of state. They have shown her, Prime Minister Modi's government has shown her the utmost respect, and for that I am eternally grateful.
This is Suhasini Haider from The Hindu. I wanted to ask former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina did really detail what happened